Hello, everyone, and welcome to the online Milton course. So, there's a few things I just want to go over in terms of just how I set up Canvas and all that, in terms of because every online course is different. If I weren't teaching summer two, and then now I have to still take over the writing center for a few weeks, I would have had more stuff up. But again, yeah, I will at least have all the readings up, and then I'll post all this week's assignments shortly. But basically, make sure that your weekly module section is the arrows down, so it's open because everything's going to be posted here. Obviously, you could get the to-do list and everything for assignments, but there'll be a few things sometimes, like for example, the documentary and things like that, that will be helpful background or supplemental material that you may miss if you're not following the weekly module schedule. The chat room and office hour chat room link are here, and for the password, all you just do is fall office hours. Again, I'll be in pretty much Monday, Wednesday, or I should say Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. I may need to adjust that sometimes, but generally speaking, I'll be here. Obviously, most of us are working and all that from this class, so if you want to meet me anytime at night, I'll be happy to open up a WebEx. I'll probably do random because since this course is not built, I'll do a lot of random kind of recorded lectures. So I'll invite people if I'm doing something at night. If you're free, you could come on by. But there's absolutely no attendance required for this course because it's a completely asynchronous one. In terms of the syllabus, should be pretty standard. Again, everyone does online courses differently. Normally, I would have the entire course built, but again, just with a lot of issues this summer, especially with the pandemic and other issues, I don't have it completely built yet. If you are on campus, there's face mask requirement, but my office is 133. This is my cell phone, and then office phone. The cell phone would probably be the best choice to reach me, and then of course email. Again, just legal stuff. You have to have access to computer, internet, active Brave mail, and all that. I think they should have sent out a message here, but there are a lot of um, hotspots. If you're having trouble accessing internet in your home, you could actually go on campus, even if you just stay in the car and all that, and open up a UNCP hotspot. So this course is just dedicated to Milton, which is kind of one of my major areas of expertise in terms of literature. So we're just going to be talking about his prose and then his poetry and then his one play that's same thing with Shakespeare that's written meter and all that. But you should be familiar with all the objectives for grad classes. If you're not, read over. I don't need to waste your time on that. I listed all the textbook, or I shouldn't say textbook, but all the texts online. Now, this is coming from university. So if you want the full texts and all that, go for it. But Dartmouth has a really good embedded footnotes and everything, and really good intros. And I'm not a fan of having students spend money if they don't have to. So I always try to give pretty much books as free as possible. But if you are one of the people who really love hardbacks and things, any version will be fine. None of these are abridged. So as long as you don't get if you get an abridged version, not so good. But as long as it's unabridged, any of these will work if you can find them in print. And again, they're all over the place, and for pretty cheap too online. Uh, just to go over a couple of the major assignments here. So I try to do a lot of assignments that will help you in terms of your later careers. So obviously we'll have like homework and things, but we're going to do kind of mini teaching presentations. We'll do a critical annotated bibliography. We'll do like contemporary issues essay. Do an abstract and kind of an application to a conference, which is still there are conferences. I'm going to be presenting on a conference online. I just did one in March too, so there are still a lot of opportunities for grad students to apply for research and kind of use their research, and then a conference style essay, and then journal style essay. Um, Paper lengths, again, I'll post the prompts for each one, but just give you a general sense of what you want to be doing. And hopefully, ideally, the anti-bibliography might lead into one of your essays. The contemporary issue 2 might be expanded. So hopefully these these two would be the same, just expanded upon. Maybe one of these will turn into the conference journal style. We'll just see. But usually that's how it works. Typically, especially with topics that you may not be familiar with. Once you start researching Milton, you may find stuff that really relates to your current kind of field of interest and so forth. I give you brief descriptions about each assignment, but again, I'll post the longer prompts when I get around to it. In terms of drafts, there's going to be a peer review form in Canvas. I don't even remember if I set that up yet. I may not have. No, I have not. So I'll set that up. There'll be a peer review. So if you want to exchange papers and all that, if you want me to look at anything, don't post it into the peer review. Just email me, and I'll be happy to look at, make suggestions, and all that. It's super critical for, especially us at this stage, to always give our papers to other people to look at. Edits take so long. I'm terrible editing myself. I could read things 10 times over, and I could give it to my wife, and she'll find like 10 different things that I need to correct. So, it's always good to kind of share work and everything like that. Um, Everything else is pretty much standard. I don't think I'll need to deal with this, but I've heard from other teachers, especially with a lot of undergrad online courses, people start kind of attacking ideas rather than criticizing ideas, and there's a huge difference. So again, be respectful, treat me with respect, treat each other with respect and dignity, and so forth. We'll be, especially with Milton, we'll be talking about a lot of different controversial topics, religious topics, social, all that stuff. So it's important to just kind of, again, make sure you're not attacking the person, make sure you're not using any ad hominems, but making sure that you are critical of ideas, because I'll be critical of your ideas, so you could be critical of mine. I'll be, anytime I'm grading your papers, I'll always make suggestions and all that. But, we need to be critical of each other, but we don't need to be jerks, So, again, just be respectful and so forth. And even when you are criticizing someone's ideas, there are a lot of good ways to do it diplomatically rather than, abrasively and so forth. So as I'm using with this program, I'll do a lot of recorded lectures and so forth. So make sure that you have access. There'll be quizzes and so forth. So make sure that if you're not there if I'm inviting you to a lecture, if I'm just doing a kind of fixed recording like I am now, feel free to watch it as many times, save it, and then of course follow the quiz. Everything else is the legal requirements in terms of all the other aspects for syllabus. So if you need anything from the accessibility resource center or anything, just email them and talk to me and so forth. This is going to be a weird semester. I still think that the campus will probably be closed um, either end of August or end of September at the latest, just because people are not following mask guidelines on campus. So it could, hopefully it won't really affect us too much, but I have no clue what's going to happen. There's just going to be a lot of silliness, I think. So for again, I try to break down things on a weekly basis. Um, Really, most of the time it's just going to be discussion board led, kind of mini essay led, and then, as I said, there'll be like kind of the mini teaching stuff that I'll select people at random, and they'll send an email about that. Where how would you kind of teach, and you could don't need to pretend that we're students, but talk to us about how you would teach this piece of writing and so forth, and how would you teach Milton in general. So there'll be that, but these are kind of the basic structures here in terms of what we're going to be doing with reading, breaking down from the topics and all that stuff. And again, there'll be more tasks, but these are just the general things to kind of keep in mind. Obviously, if you have questions, that's what I'm going to create kind of a question form for our Canvas, as well as just email me, in general and all that stuff. Oh, something's already messed up with Canvas. That's why I hate Canvas. So, you know, email me, talk to each other. I try to make online classes as interactive as possible, but we are limited, of course, by technology sometimes. So again, I hope you have fun with this course. Especially if you haven't read a lot of Milton, it should be really interesting because he takes on a lot of progressive views, and he also takes on a lot of conservative views. So it's going to be very interesting to see how you feel about some of his thoughts. Obviously, again, if you ever need help, just email me, call my office or cell, or text me, whatever. And if not, just enjoy the class and take care.